and you get kicked in the fucking face.
In the next bubble screen over here, let's throw curls.
What are the whys, right? What are the whys?
Bears Hour Live.
32 is the identity.
Yeah, you look at the tape. So as a coach, your resume is the tape.
Loses the football. Strip sack and
Bears Hour Live.
Give me some fucking
Bears
names.
Hour Live. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talking the smartest man alive. Yo, Bears Hour Live.
Son of a bitch, you better block.
Bears Hour Live. We go on live right after Bears games with your boys draft talking the smartest man alive. Ran up
Even
with
I
the true
would do that
analysis. You expect raw passion for the show.
You
Bear
saw
fans
the
get
growth in
locked
Justin
in with real
Fields.
emotion
another
and passion for every
Slow
play.
down.
Coach Phil
To
to
get
bring that
20
range,
yards.
but then with facts like post-game show like nothing else you're gonna hear. Some can try to copy, but a bucket's not sincere. Delivering the truth on what just happened, to be clear. That's why we're on TV, so you can see it, not just hear. Hey, yo, with Draft Dr. Phil, you know it's always hit sticks. True to fundamentals, never gimmicks and tricks. Guess we're moving Soldier Field up to Arlington Heights. Mill out counting bucks while the mayor big fights. Our life keeps growing, Shane's all knowing. Delivering the truth on how the QB's throwing. Dimes on time, just lacking fundamental. Whatever the case, we get hot like Senso. Fiery discussion on what happened in the game. This ain't your daddy's postgame, so expect a fucking flame. Not for the average fan, I love they can survive.
But don't you worry.
Bears Hour Live.
Bears Hour Live. Bears Hour Live. We go on
Let him sit his ass there again. I don't think we're that much worse.
the myth, the red legend, Dr. Phil Ototion.
This is football, baby. Culture is the problem. Let's get on little things.
Bears Hour
Give me some
Live.
fucking
Bears
names.
Hour
Son of a bitch, you better
Live.
block.
Bears Hour Live.
That's what happens.
We go
That's when
on
you have a
live
real
right
good team.
after Bears
And let's
games
get it
with
on.
your boys draft talk and the smartest.
Give me some fucking names.
This is Bears Hour Live.
Hey, Bears fans. Bears drop one, 31-30. Justin Fields show again, but so many questions, bad plays, horrible officiating. End of the day, this is going to be a little bit different. BHL, obviously, with the TTNL crew live at the game. So we won't have the DDP rant like we normally do, but I'll give you some of my thoughts real quick. I thought the turning point at the end of the game was your offensive coordinator deciding to go conservative the drive before last. Resulted in a 3-and-out. They had the 2 handoffs. I understand how you got there. We know the Bears have the ultimate weapon in Justin Fields, but you can't rely on this defense to win you games. And I understand it was a great punt and they had to go 91 yards, but still, that just tells you and shows you how bad this defense is. It doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 4. It doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 15, 3rd and 22. They're going to get gashed in a big, big way. And we saw it up live and personal on Detroit's last drive, or not the last drive, their second to last drive, where they scored the touchdown. Just, you got to go down shooting with your big gun. Got to get Justin involved there. The running game, beyond Justin, Khalil popped a couple of them today. Would have loved to seen Demo catch that last ball. Yes, there was a penalty on it, but like I said, you had the chance to overcome the horrific play or the horrific penalties that these refs were calling. I'll put up an image here as we get going. The hands to the face on Jalen Johnson. That was a LeBron James level flop. There wasn't any contact to the face. He put his hands right in his chest and then came up through. And you saw a big play get wiped out there with Jack Sanborn and the interception. We've been wanting to see big plays ball production, as Eberflus has talked about repeatedly, from the linebacker position. And you saw a guy making the league minimum out there producing, contributing to that with his 2 sacks, and he got stripped of the interception. So bringing my guy here, it's going to be helping me on this show, Chris Jackal. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. We're never going to promote losing here. Nope. I know that there's the fans out there that immediately pivot to draft position, but this is one you gave away, Jackal. I don't know if you agree with me, and if you don't, that's completely fine. But I go back to Getsy getting ultra conservative on that 3 and out, the Bears' second to last drive. I didn't like it when it happened, and Cairo for whatever reason, the biggest play of the season, and Cairo follows it up with a miscue, and that is one thing that the Bears are extremely consistent on.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate, but I'll let you speak on it, man. What did you see?
Shane, you, not that you took the wind right out of my sails, but you're absolutely right. I felt like Getsy was playing not to lose instead of trying to win. And anytime you do that, you allow mistakes. You just leave yourself, liable to make some sort of, whether it's a mental miscue, penalty. It just leads to the wrong kind of mindset, I feel like. Got to attack, try to win this game. And Cairo Santo, he missed the extra point, kicked the ball out of bounds. He almost kicked the second one out of bounds, the following kickoff. I don't know. Their kickers seem to make the, Bagley did okay. He kicked for us this year.
Former Bear.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same old, though. The defense is the defense right now. They traded away all their stars, all their real talent, and we're riding with who we have right now. And you saw Jack Sanborn make some great plays, right? But at the same time, we need to make more plays. And the expectation is we should have won that game today. And unfortunately, TTNL's in the fan, and we're in the fucking stands today, and we should have saw a dub. And Claudio's got to go home and
sleep
drink
it off,
sad
right?
beers instead of happy beers.
Yeah, it's tough, man. You don't want to see the referees take over a game, and I am not the guy that likes to blame games on refs, but boy, today's was hard to stomach, and I understand that the Bears defense and even the offense are really behind the sticks in terms of overall talent. I get it, but man, it just got to a point where it was every single big play. Adam Rank had like the tweet of the day.
Yeah.
Bears fans weren't cheering as loud as they should have on the 67-yard touchdown run because we were all nervous and looking for the flag.
Yeah.
And it was, it was the truth. And I said it to my son. He jumped out of his chair. I was going crazy. And I'm like, wait, where's the flag? Where's the flag?
Sanchez said it too. He's like, is there a flag? Everybody thought it.
Yeah. Yeah. 9
penalties on the day. Just not a Bears type of day with respects to the penalties. 9, the Lions only had 2 today. Not that the ratio means anything, but they just seemed a little not undisciplined, unlucky at times, but the penalties hurt, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we see Justin growing up in front of our eyes. We understand it, but you can't give an honest assessment if you're not going to try to hold him accountable with the pick 6. You just can't.
That was awful.
He's trying. Listen, I understand you live by the sword, you die by the sword, but it's one of those things. You either have to make 100% positive you get it out of bounds, or eat the fucking ball and you get the sack and then you live another down.
Exactly.
Obviously you get it back, but that was the worst possible outcome in that scenario. Akuda got his boy, returned at what was, I believe, 21 yards. Just that wasn't a great play by Justin, but true to his form, what he has shown back at Ohio State, even previously back in high school, he has an injury or a miscue, he follows it up in a big, big way. And the very next the very next series for Justin was the 67-yard touchdown run, the longest rushing touchdown in Chicago Bears history. And he beat his 61-yard run last week. But let's see, we got a guy in the background here. Let's bring him in. His feed doesn't look too great, but we'll see if we can get some audio from him here for a little second.
I don't know if you can hear me here.
Yeah, we got you.
We're all fired up, right?
Oh, yeah.
The ref set. Patron number 356.
There he is.
There we go.
I'm the one saying that text you and ask you my patron number. You gave it to me and you said, don't be texting me for patron number.
All I got to say is there's disappointment at Soldier Field. It was once again a home job. The refs affected the outcome of this football game. The whole momentum, making no call on Cole Kmet's throw down the left sideline. Clearly interference. They called a holding. They called a face mask on Kmet.
Ghost holding.
Ghost holdings. Meanwhile, Bears players are getting tackled. The disappointment, it was totally there. It's just not a good vibe here at Soldier Field. As electric as Justin Fields was, I mean, you could just see he's the best player on the football field. But, Shane.
Let me ask you real quick. I talked before you got here. To me, it goes back to the Bears' second to last drive where Getsy got ultra conservative.
Oh my God! I told Cars, I go, these aren't the calls. I don't like the jet sweep there with St. Brown. I'm like, you're putting yourself in a situation. And you're right. You got conservative there. Cost you because you needed that. You needed that point. The refs were already I mean, I've never been to a game seeing this kind of bias. I mean, every play you're looking at a call. There's a play they don't even call. Cole Kmet, I think he got injured on it.
Yeah. In the leg.
Defensive, the safety comes over and just destroys Kmet in the route. Justin's trying to pull back the throw, and it goes errant because he couldn't throw to him. Cars is disappointed. Cars.
Now let me ask: if he threw that ball with that contact, would they have called that pass interference, or should they
should have called it irregardless?
Okay.
Because you cannot contact a player all the way down the field.
Gotcha.
So the unfortunate thing here is Chicago Bears, the kicker. You can't miss the extra point. You just can't. I mean, cost you the game. You felt it in the stadium once he did it as electric. The whole momentum shift of Justin's electricity went out. It deflated when Cairo misses the extra point. Shane, you and I have been long enough to know the reality of the Chicago Bears are going to do something stupid.
Yeah.
You got patron number 1 here, though, Shane. Big Otis Nichols there.
Hey, what up? What's happening, my people? How you doing?
What's up? I wish it was under better
circumstances. I wish it was under better circumstances, he says.
I'm torn with the whole season. I understand we always want our team to win. But this don't feel like a loss when we drop in 30 and we got a better draft pick too. Because I see the future for our team, man. Imagine Fields not having to run. Imagine that. Imagine us having that line so cemented we don't.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Uh-oh.
Look, the future's bright, man. We got a guy that we can depend on to get 30 points with the roster we got right now. Imagine us that growth. Come on, man. We're going to be all right.
He's the sunshine and rainbows here. I wanted to see the victory. The boys wanted to see a victory.
Bill, take a peek at your screen real quick, and I want to put a picture up. Hopefully you can see it. This was the hands to the face call.
Oh, we saw the play. Come here, Cars. What did I tell you? This is the hands to the face call.
All of them. There were holdings. The hands to the face.
No hands to the face.
These FBIs on the defense.
They tackled him before the ball got there.
I miss you. Why aren't you here? And Shane, whatever. I'll see you on Thursday.
Guys, it was a freaking. I was trying to get the ref still suck chant going in the upper deck because it was like you were playing against both teams. I've never been so helpless feeling so helpless in my life. If I was Eberflus, I'm getting thrown out of the freaking game. I'm so fucking pissed off with the refs and how they handle the momentum of this football game. The reality is the Chicago Bears have a quarterback. Cole Kmet's waking up. And you could see that the refs are going to be a part of this story, and that's really not how football should be. You put the picture up. I said it right then and there. Are you kidding me? This is an interception, a turnover changing for Sandborg right there, and takes over the whole game. Instead, we're playing Who Goose the Moose with the goddamn refs taking over the goddamn game. I'm so fired up. Tate's fired up. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, Phil, real quick, just away from football, the boys got to experience their first game in Soldier Field. They have any comments on it?
What was your first game at Soldier Field like? He wants to know. Just tell him.
Good.
You liked it? Did you enjoy the game? Yeah, he was
going to get in-depth analysis like that.
T-Money, there we go.
What about you, Deb? Did you enjoy your first game?
Wow.
Great. It was cold out here.
Are you sure they're your kids if they won't talk?
I know, right? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Well,
it's tough, man. Yeah, I don't want to keep you. We'll let you go there, DDP.
All right, guys.
Have fun.
Safe travels.
I'm gonna flip it over. We got some of the other crew on the other side. So hey,
God bless.
Be safe. All right, now let's hop over.
Here we go. Mayhem.
There he is.
Organized K, a mustache ride. How
Handlebar mustache himself.
What's up, guys? I just want to say hi real quick. I know we're like cutting traffic, but we just wanted to say what's up. How horrible it was. It was a great experience, but a shitty fucking time.
Hey,
Everybody's upset at the refs, but I would say, hey, you can't throw that football while you're getting sacked, dog. You cannot throw that football at all for Justin Fields. And I love the guy, and he's amazing. And he is that dude. You can't throw that ball. But hey,
totally
peace
agree.
out.
Hey, Ivan, real quick.
Jacko, love seeing you.
Real quick, Ivan. Tell Bratcher to put that jersey back on the shelf at Kmart.
He said, take that shit back to Payless.
Love you guys.
Oh my goodness, that was beautiful.
Hey,
we can laugh about something.
Always good for one. Yeah. You get the overall vibe, guys. You know, you understand that we put a lot into what we do here, but end of the day, they're there having fun, watching the game. Tate and Devin getting to experience it for the first time. You wish you would have had the cherry on top with the W, but getting some family and friends time like that is obviously important.
Absolutely.
But we're just waiting for Coach here. It's going to be interesting, Jekyll, to see his thoughts on it, and end of the day, there is silver linings in this moving forward. I understand, but this one hurts,
of course,
me a little more than last week's, because you were up, you had the lead. You know what I mean? You're up 24-10, and then boom, it evaporates, and it wasn't just by your own doing. It was some very questionable calls on the field, and then your ultimate weapon, Justin Copperfield's trademark pending.
Be a good T-shirt.
Yeah, can't make that pat. To Ivan's point, as good as he played, you got to ding him for that. That's a negative play when you're breaking it down, and fans, don't get upset when we bring that up. I mean, when you're grading guys, when you're breaking down film, this isn't just with the Bears; it's with any team breaking down draft prospects. You have good and bad plays, and you have negative grades, and that is part of getting better. And again, you see Justin's growth each and every week. I mean, there's always idiots on Twitter, on social media, saying, he can't pass. He's a running back playing quarterback. And I mean, that's people that are saying that, let's just be honest. They have some other social issues that they need to get taken care of and get in order. That's literally what that comes down to. I mean, if you want to bag on this kid, he's a superstar. He is. I mean, you see everybody coming around and seeing it. We knew he had him. He had that in him, Jackal. But hey, there's going to be bumps along the road. They're going to upgrade the talent around him. This shows you how important Tevin Jenkins is to this team. Michael Schofield on that one play that we broke down at halftime, Jackal, with Fields on that third down. Michael Schofield blocked nobody at all. He just spun and was beat. So it is what it is. I see Jim Miller is up speaking now. Bears usually are a little bit late
after him.
Yeah, going on. But
no, you're right. I mean, Fields in the last 5 games, 549 yards, which is an NFL record.
Yeah.
I mean, and since they started keeping stats on it, it's turning out to be a beautiful thing with respects to what we're getting from, Justin. Now it's time to build on this and go around him. But when you lose games to a divisional rival at home with some of our boys in the stands and ladies, it fucking hurts, man. And it's too bad. I would like to see Eberflus step to the mic and actually show some, some anger. Losing to Dan Campbell, the kneecap guy, I'd be fucking pissed, dude. I don't want to lose to that fucking guy.
Yeah.
I know they
first
respect
road
each other.
victory. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And Tom Boson had it in the chat, and it's true. And bad teams always find a way to fuck it up, to lose. And the Bears have talent to win. They do. They should have won today, but those penalties, man, they add up. You can't. This defense is up against the wall without any penalties.
Yeah.
And then you just see it. Jalen Johnson seems to be dinged. Be interesting to see what Flus says that, because he did not have his best game at all. And I'm not holding that hands to the face against him, but you see him getting beat by guys that he should not be getting beat by.
No.
And the Bears pass rush is an issue. We told everybody that was going to be an issue. When you move off of Khalil Mack, when you move off of Robert Quinn, when you move off of those guys, Akeem Hicks was here last year, it's part of it, but it's all about everything beyond. And I said this all the time, Jackal, if the Bears would have went 0-17 or, 1-16, if that arrow was pointing up for QB1, the end of the day, that was going to be the most important. I understand how important winning is, but guys, ladies, everybody watching this, the Chicago Bears have a quarterback. They don't just have a quarterback. They have a weapon that can literally destroy games. He needs some more talent around him. He needs to make better decisions along the way. We understand that. But the Chicago Bears have a quarterback. End of story. We've been waiting for that for our entire lives. And he's here.
You're absolutely right, Shane. And it was scary to start the year, just the way it ebbs and flows. But he was playing in his, this is basic. I forget. This is his 20th start today, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 20 or 21. Yeah, right.
And,
right.
And so from that standpoint, I've nothing but, like you said, that arrow, the trend, it's going in the right direction. We're playing in winnable games with the talent that this team should have, because we've let go a lot of skilled players. I think we'd be on the other side of a couple of these games, but Poles is doing what Poles wants to do. And we're, as fans, we're definitely seeing the fruits of that labor already. And it's nice to see. But silver linings are great, but we got to fucking beat Detroit at the end of the day.
I get it. And Jerome Payton, I want to address this. So what? Losing doesn't develop shit but losers.
No.
Are you seeing your quarterback, Jerome?
Exactly.
Is he developed? Is it important? All right, get over the fucking bullshit. I understand losing sucks. Don't say that people aren't developing. Did you watch the game? Have you watched your quarterback? Go break that down. He's there, he's developing, and he's exactly what the Bears need. He's going to be better than any quarterback that the Bears have had in their history by a wide margin. And that is not me getting ahead of myself.
Oh, no.
Don't tell me that people aren't developing because you're losing football games. People in college play on shitty teams and they develop into fantastic
NFL
players in the
Hall of
NFL.
Famers.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just such a lazy take. That's just getting pissed and wanting to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It makes no sense. I have no tolerance for nonsense like that. I mean, come on.
I like that upstate New York, throw the baby with the bathwater fucking reference. I get it, because you're absolutely right. I mean, Justin Fields accounted for 314 total yards of offense today, fucking 4 touchdowns. I guess he hasn't developed at all. I just, with fucking, it's just, I hear you. Now getting me fired up. I'm not throwing babies out with bathwaters, but it's fucking, and it's too bad.
Even
scored 30 points,
Yeah, Michael, I understand it. That he's going to a gunfight with a freaking bag of rubber bands.
He's got one hand tied behind his back.
Yeah, it's not. This isn't a finished product by any means. They knew they were going to take some lumps, but again, you have to. The accountability part is key because of the penalties. There was penalties beyond bad calls that were unacceptable, and it's just hard. And you're going to have these things, man, but it's hard to give games away. You shouldn't be blowing a 14-point lead to the Detroit Lions in Soldier Field, even with horrific calls by the refs. And like I said, it goes back. Justin can't make that pass. He knows it. He rectified it on the very next series, but they're limited.
Yeah.
Talent-wise, guys. It shouldn't be a shock to anybody.
I mean, Amon St. Brown ran. He looked like he was Jerry Rice out there today. I'm trying to figure out how many targets he had, but he had 10 receptions for 119 yards. He looked, every time he threw the ball, Goff looked great out there. And unfortunately, Jalen Johnson, he was hurt in the first half, right? What was going on with him? They were stretching, and I couldn't figure it out.
I don't know, to me, and maybe I don't know if it's his ribs or what it is. It almost looks like he's got a flak jacket on. He looks heavy to me.
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson, for you look at him and you're like, that dude's a linebacker. Doesn't look like a corner. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. So there's something. You saw Brisker get dinged and come back in there. And, it was a tough one. I was bummed when the initial inactive list came out to see Harry sat down. This was Pringle's first game back. And I mean, to this point, I understand. I was a fan of the signing, taking a chance on Byron Pringle. But I mean,
one catch, right?
Yeah.
Is that what he had?
Give me the physical play. He's not a speed merchant, but give me the physical play of N'Keal Harry out there. I didn't like to see that, and maybe there's something behind the scenes that happened that why he was a healthy scratch. And not only that, we have our 3rd round pick, number 71 overall, Velus Jones, not even dressing now. And
MIA.
They needed to send him a message for sure. And now Khalil Herbert got dinged at the end of the game. He got hit hard, and you hope that that's not something that's going to get worse as the week goes on, because these guys are pumped right full of adrenaline right now. And the way that works is the injuries initially don't seem so bad, but then you wake up around 4 a.m. and everything seems to hurt a lot worse.
Reality.
Yeah, but so we're still waiting for the presser. I am definitely going to be interested to see what Flus and Justin have to come out and say. But I understand it, guys. I don't mean to go off and single out one guy, but to come out here and say that people aren't developing, and that you're essentially saying that if you lose a game, that reps don't matter.
Exactly.
And that's it's nonsense. It's a lazy take, and it's just not realistic. Every rep matters. You hear coaches say that, and when guys are holding out like Roquan Smith, you're missing reps. You're missing, just the be there with your teammates. And I mean, right now, Jack Sanborn is a guy that's out there making plays. Hated to see him have that pick taken away, and I'm not comparing the talent, but it's about ball production, like Flu said. And right now you're figuring it's saving you about $19.75 million. And that's something that you have to talk about. And I don't overlook Ryan Poles saying about Jack Sanborn last week, he's a guy that will be in the place that he's supposed to be. And that's a direct shot at the kid he traded in Roquan, because there was a lot of guessing going on. You have to maintain your gap integrity in this defense always. Roquan didn't always do it. There was a lot of guessing going on. Is Sanborn the gifted athletically like Roquan is? No, not at all. But sometimes
he's going to develop, Shane.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah,
Unreal.
Let's see. But yeah, it's tough, man. You go right through it. I want to see. Hopefully, this isn't something that lingers with Tevin. I mean, to me, Tevin is an elite offensive guard right now, and I know Phil is always banging the drum for him at left tackle, and I understand Phil's philosophy on that. But guess what? He's not playing left tackle. Not playing left tackle anytime soon. Probably not ever playing left tackle for this regime. They wanted him at guard. They obviously believe in Braxton Jones. They're going to live and die with his mistakes. You saw some today. First one shouldn't have been called. That wasn't holding. Shouldn't be called for holding ever. But yeah, like I said, with us taking a little bit different approach, if you guys have some questions and comments in the chat, just hashtag them BHL, and we'll put them up on the screen, and we'll see if we can address them. Like I said, we're still waiting for the presser, and we'll put that up there. It might be a little.
What'd you think of the timeout right before the fourth down play? I almost felt like they had it designed ready to roll. I don't know. I just
I don't know if there was some sort of a miscommunication, or if a headset went out, or they just saw something they didn't like. It's something that we're definitely going to have to take a peek at, when we get the all 22 Jackal and see kind of exactly what the setup was there. But they're still talking. I'm assuming they're going to be coming out here any second, so we can jump right into that. But
Claypool, someone asked where he was in the chat, and I see the comment here. Should we go thoughts on the secondary if you want? Brisker, like you said, he got nicked up.
The Kyler Gordon play, and I was pissed, but man, it's razor thin whether he. I think if you break it right down, that's where the all 22 is going to be interesting to see. I mean, it's extremely debatable whether Goff was out of bounds at all there, and I think that comes down to a rookie versus a veteran quarterback, and them erring on the side of safety first. Which, I mean, it was a huge play in the game, but you see, Kyler Gordon started out tough this year and then started to make some strides. And now when you have almost no pass rush, you see him where he's starting to fall back a little bit more, and you want to see some big plays out there. Jaquan Brisker. I love Jaquan. Oh, here we go. Here's Flus. Got it up there.
Did a good job of executing in the first half. We end up getting it 10-10 there at the halftime. And, I thought was much improved on the defense outside of the ball in terms of stopping the run. We end up being 3.1, I think was for the day. So that was certainly improved there. Started a little bumpy on the third downs on defense. I think we got that shored up, up through the third quarter. I thought we did a good job of that to start that. And again, like I said, it was 10-10 at half, and really did a good job at halftime. I thought the guys did a good job of resetting. Hey, the score is 0-0, and we came out there and had a really 14-0, made it 24-10 to go into the fourth quarter. So that was really good by the whole offense, defense, and kicking. Did a really good job there. And then the fourth quarter started. Then we had some events there that happened that we have to overcome. We have to overcome adversity.
That's him
when it's
calling
thrown
them
our
out the
way.
shitty calls.
And that could come in a lot of different fashions, right? A lot of different ways. And it could become in, hey, a call here, a call there for sure. It could become in, interception that we might throw or whatever those adversities are. We have to do a good job of resetting, okay, and then making the plays at the end to win the game. And that's about growth for us. I think it's about a mindset, and the guys know that, and the guys are determined to do that. So, other stuff that was good. Obviously, our run average on both sides was good. I thought explosive plays were about the same. Looking at it, I have to go back and look at it. The third downs were better on defense, like I said. We were 55% on for us, 45% for them. And then we have to do a better job there. Justin was, 12 of 20 for 167. Obviously, he had that really nice run. The third down run was amazing, to get us into, have a chance to win the game there. Some things in the kicking game, we got to do a better job, in the kicking game. Obviously kicking out of bounds, that puts us the ball at the 40 midfield there. We have to do a better job there. We also had, obviously, the missed extra point. And then we had the holding penalty on the punt team that put them up at the 45-yard line. So there's a couple of things there we got to clean up in the kicking game. So with that, I'll open up to questions.
What does your offense need to do to be able to get over the hump in these game-deciding moments late in games?
Yeah, it just comes down to us
Add
practicing.
talent.
It comes down to what we're doing on the practice field. We got to do it in the practice field on a consistent basis. And then I think when you get to the games, you'll be more comfortable to be able to execute in those moments. We just got to be able to do that as a group.
How frustrating is it for you to have a 14-point lead at home going into the fourth quarter and not be able to? Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, you have to be able to overcome things. You have to be able to overcome things. I've seen it before, through my years of coaching, that, you have to be able to overcome adversities. And that could come in many forms, like I said. And when you do that, you'll see it. You'll be like, okay, there it is. And, guys are, overcoming through execution, making plays in the critical moments. And then what you do is you end up winning the game.
But now, who went to the decision to not play Felix Jones and Nikhil Harris?
Yeah, that's really what I said last week. We thought for us it was the best 5 receivers up for us for this particular game, and that's what we decided best for the Chicago Bears this week. And again, with Dante doing a good job on the punt returns, and he's continuing to do a nice job back there catching the ball, and he got some good yards today too.
Justin, at the end of the first half, and he puts his shoulder down and gets in the end zone. What does that do for you going into the half, just from a momentum point of view? And just we heard a couple guys talking about just
dumb fucking questions.
Good
that you scored before half, Coach.
I already typed it up.
We were down in that situation. We were running out of time, so we were going to call timeout if we didn't make it there. But for sure, his like I said, his grit, his toughness, how physical he can be, how strong he is. That's what makes him a special player.
Does any of this worry you long term, though? Because quarterbacks over the course of the whole season that run. He had 2 today, so does any of this worry you in the longer term how much he is running?
Well, I think that you got to be smart. I've used the term wisdom and discernment as he goes through there. There was a couple times where he took a couple shots today, but he also slid and got himself out of bounds a couple times. And again, when you're an athlete like that, he's got to use that wisdom when he's in that part of the field to make sure he gets down or gets out of harm's way.
Did you get an explanation for the hands to the face on Jalen? The penalty there on the Sanborn interception.
Yeah, what a nice play by Sanborn. I mean, gosh, getting in the window there, and that was really a game changer, I thought, for him and his growth. Obviously he had the 2 sacks and had the interception, had 13 tackles, I believe it was. So he really had a nice game today for us. But in terms of the penalty, I got to go back and look at it. But what I saw on the jumbotron, we'll see if I see what I see tomorrow. So we'll see, or later today. So.
Does Jack surprise you at all? Because, 2 games, he's coming in, his rookie, he didn't play at all, basically just special team. 2 really good games.
Well, if you go back and look at the preseason, if we go way back and look at preseason, you saw what kind of player he was, right? Shoulders. He's very instinctual. He makes a lot of plays on the ball, always, reads his keys. He's always on it that way. So, yeah, we're pleased with where he's going.
Was there any specific reason that we saw less of Chase today?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it. Our plan was to get him in there. Like sometimes, hey, coverages take certain things away. And if he was the primary, maybe we went to the secondary. So I just have to go back and look at it. But our plan was to get him involved.
When Detroit got the ball for the last time, was there consideration by you of just letting them score there, given the time?
No, we were trying to stop them there. We weren't in that mode yet at that point. But certainly we have to do a better job on defense there. We got them to a 3rd and 8, I think it was 3rd and 9, end up giving that up. And give up a couple chunk plays on that drive. We have to do a better job.
And as you try to build a culture with this team, what are these guys missing out on by not getting over the top of these teams and not stacking these wins?
Well, I tell you what they are getting is perseverance, right? Determination. That's what they will get, So everybody's going to look at this and say, hey, we're, you've lost 6 out of 7, all the things that the outside noise is going to be. Well, let's have winning habits. Make sure we have winning habits every single day, right? On Monday, tomorrow, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which they do. They've practiced hard. They're doing the right thing. It's about determination and perseverance, okay? And staying the course. And that's what they're going to learn. And that's what they are learning. So they got to have their eyes forward. They got to look at the performance for what it is and then move forward to the next game. And they've done that. And then it will eventually crack. If we keep having winning habits and doing things the right way and executing in the critical moments, it will crack.
On the interception, how much of that is Justin's competitive showing for there, and how do you as a coach?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
On the interception he threw that was returned.
Yeah.
How much is that his competitiveness, his desire to make a play, and how, as a coach, do you ride, advising him not to make that throw while also keeping his competitive nature? Yeah, I mean, he's going to tell you the same thing. I should have just thrown it away. But what you understand about that young man is that, man, he's a fighter, right? So he has the ability, and you've seen it during the course of this year, to reset. So, we talked about it on Sunday. He said, man, just reset. And then sure enough, 3rd and 1, boom, there he goes. And that's just him. He's a fighter through and through, and man, he's tough as nails, and he's going to continue to do that, and prepare the way he's prepared for each week.
Coach still struggling to create consistent pass rush. I saw you guys had a couple inverted defensive line formations. What are you trying? What's the key to trying to unlock the pass rush? Is going to have to dial up more blitzes. What's it going to take to get some pass rush? Yeah, so I think we had 3. We had 3 today. Was that right? Jack had 1. So I think it's just really using our secondary pieces, a little bit more. Using our safeties, our linebackers to really help the D line there, and then we'll do whatever we can with those 4 or 5 guys or 6 guys, 7 guys we have to unlock those guys.
Kyler Gordon had a near sack and then he hustled back to make a play. I got a penalty on it.
Right.
I think typify the frustration of today. It was a guy doing what you want to do, hustle, and it still turned out bad. Any frustration on your own part about the way that play turned out?
No, I mean, he obviously wants to make the play initially, of course, but I certainly love the hustle, to the sideline. I think he actually caused a fumble on the sideline there. Was 50 yards away from me. So, but we'll have to look at the replay and all that and adjust from there.
On your last drive, Kmet goes down as Justin's kind of winding up. Did the ball scored away because Justin tried to hang on to it because he was going down? Did you get an evaluation of that?
Of course. Yeah, I think so. I think that was incidental contact. I think with number 1 on their team, and I think they just ran into each other. So, but I'll have to look at it.
Any concerns about Kmet's health?
I don't know right now.
Matt, do you have a feeling like
back in the game,
passing game in games can be jump started so that those deciding moments can be flipped the way?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to look at it. We'll look at it and see where it is and see what we can do. We're always trying to be forward thinking and look and see how we can improve all of our units, and that's one aspect of it for sure.
What's your sense of what's missing there right now? Because obviously it's not.
I would just say in the general statement, execution. We just got to execute in those moments. If it's whatever that might be. It could be protection. It could be route depths, all those things that come into play in the passing game, but we'll have to look at it with a critical eye.
You practice those scenarios so often, dating back to training camp.
Right.
They're obviously important in your mind, and you need to master them to be able to win. Is there a sense of frustration that it's not like you haven't devoted time or energy or resources to it, but it's still not taking off?
Yeah, I would just say, like I said, determination and perseverance. That's going to take the whole group. To get it done, in a 2-minute situation, defense has got to play better to not put us in that situation. Offense, when they're in there, we got to execute and get it done. So it's about the whole group. It's about the football team together.
Coach, you lost some games early in the year with some of your younger players making some critical mistakes. Today, some of your
you want to fire him after 10 games, Chris?
No,
come on, man.
Justin Fields interception, Cairo with the miss. Is it more frustrating when these some of your better players, more reliable players, they kind of cost you big?
Yeah, I would just say it's always come down to the whole football team. There's going to be 6 or 7 plays that happens in every game. That's the critical plays, and it could be a young player, it could be a guy that's an older player. That doesn't. For us, we got a young football team. We got to execute. So that's where it is.
Thanks,
all right, thank you.
Hey, Coach Matt Eber.
He's in a tough spot, man. I mean, what the fuck? He can come out and blast the refs and get fined a ton of money, right?
Well, that's what it comes down to. And I mean, I understand, and Phil gets a little bit more volatile than I do. If you want to blast the refs, blast them on the field. I get that you want them to come out and throw shit in these pressers and go nuts. And guess what that's going to prove at the end of the day? Nothing. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything at all, unfortunately. And I get it. I'm competitive too, and I get fired up and want them. But it's these guys. The Bears have to be better. I understand that there's bad. You can watch any football game and there's bad plays, and it's not just a Chicago Bears thing. You can watch any college football game, any professional football game, high school football game. There's lack of quality referees. My thing has always been, you see a guy that's out there that's 64 years old and 40 pounds overweight, and he's on the same field with the best athletes in the world. It never made sense to me that these guys don't have like a training camp and a physical fitness requirement that they have to meet. I mean, wouldn't you think that would just be like a default mechanism for the league? You're out here with guys that are the best athletes in the world, and you're 235
getting
pounds
in the way out there.
It always seemed very odd to me that there's not physical requirements for these guys that they have to meet to be out there.
But didn't they just change all that around too? Because they used to be, a lot of these guys had full-time jobs, and then they would referee.
A lot of these guys were lawyers and stuff like that.
Ed Hockley was jacked, wasn't he? Didn't he have
and his son is the same way. But that's it's a multi-billion dollar entity, and they have you have no ability to see if the ball cross the goal line. There's no like laser guided system or chip in the ball. That's it's just, I don't know, it just seems very prehistoric in a lot of ways with all of the technology and everything that they have at their disposal. And I don't know, it's interesting, but the coming out and going nuts. Minnesota,
did they pull it off or did they choke?
Just Josh Allen just threw a pick in the end zone in overtime.
Fall off again?
Yeah.
That's the second one.
Yeah, 33-30. Minnesota beats Buffalo in Buffalo. Yeah. It's a big one. It's a big win for them on the road. But, I mean, just to get off the referees a little bit and to, Flus, and I understand we all want him to go fucking crazy. And saw somebody in the chat was saying, Ditka would go crazy on these fools. Yeah, he'd do a lot of crazy shit. He like trade an entire fucking draft allotment for a running back. There's a give and take with all of it. Eberflus just isn't that guy that's going to come out and get extreme. I've seen him on the sidelines lose his shit a couple of times this year. That's where it needs to happen. The post-game presser, it's just going to cost you a shitload of money. And yes, these guys are making a lot of money, but they like their money just like I do. If you make good money, it doesn't mean that you should want to give it away for running your mouth too much. And end of the day, Jackal, like I said, and I've said this 20 times already today, the Bears defense sucks because they don't have enough talent.
No.
It's the law of Occam's, it's the law of Occam's razor. The simplest solution is likely the right one. Yeah. They need more firepower. Yeah. And, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but you add a fucking man-child at 3 technique to this defense. Guess who's going to get better? Brisker's going to get better. Kyler Gordon's going to get better. Jalen Johnson's going to get better. That's where it all starts. They got to get a will linebacker They got to get a pass rushing 3 technique that can wreck games, and they have to decide what they want to do with Kyler Gordon moving forward. If they're going to put him outside or keep him
where
inside, because that nickel spot is huge in this Eberflus defense, just like it was for Lovey. You saw, if Greg Gabriel said Lovey Smith, his first year was pounding the table every day in the offseason after he was hired. You got to get me a 3-tech. Got to get me a 3-tech. What did the Bears do in that first draft? They drafted Tommy Harris, and then they followed it up with Tank Johnson in round 2. Then they ended up making a trade for Ricky Manning to fill that inside, spot. So that you have to have the pieces. And this defense now isn't going to be the defense that they have next year. Just like offense, you're not going to see guys like Dante Pettis here probably next year, and N'Keal Harry. N'Keal Harry's not guaranteed a roster spot. They're going to be making tons of moves. And end of the day, like I said earlier, it's all about you want that arrow pointing in the proper direction for QB1, and right now it is.
Yeah. If you were to have this conversation 6 weeks ago after week 3 or week 4, or actually, I'm sorry, 7 weeks ago after week 3, after the way things were looking, you would not be talking like this, because the Bears, they looked abysmal, and they finally have figured some things out, and it's speaking to the development.
Thanks, Ryan. Enjoy the show. See you next week, bud.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Bye, Ryan. But yeah, it's speaking of pussies, that's something that you need to get out of the system with respect to the play calling. You have to be aggressive. And Getsy just played on his heels as it plays, instead of stepping forward and trying to throw that, that right cross to knock out the Lions. And as we talk about it, though, everything you're saying leads to we're 3-7. We have some winnable games, and we've been in so many games. We have an offense that scored 32 points last week, 30 points this week. We're putting up points. The defense isn't going to throw shutouts. The Lions had a pretty solid offense. They do put up some points as well. So it's not like they're just some run of the, they have some weapons there, and those guys perform too, Swift and Williams and Amon St. Brown, but we needed our guys to step up. And with that, Poles is going to continue to add to this roster, because those guys you talked about, they're not going to be here, right? They're the Pettises and some of the other filler spots, that all these dudes on 1-year deals and non-guaranteed money. We will have a big roster turnover this offseason, and it's going to be a much different 53-man roster going into 2023. And I'm excited. I'm frustrated because I hate fucking losing to the Lions. It's the fucking Lions. But at the same time, Fields got through the game. He had over 315 yards of total offense, made one bad mistake, which led to us ultimately missing an extra point down the, if those plays never happened, we wouldn't have, maybe the extra point would have never taken place, but it's like, but firing Flus, dumb idea. Just not, this is a rebuild, guys. Like there's
fan is short for fanatic, and you guys know me well enough to know that I tend to take a different, I look at things in a different way than Phil does, and that's why Phil, a lot of people love Phil more than they love me, and I'm perfectly content with that. Phil wears his heart on his sleeve. He's volatile. He's gonna go from 0 to DEFCON 5 in about 3.2 seconds. I get it. But that's why the relationship with Phil and I work at TTNL, because you have to have the guy that's going to be a little bit more analytical, is going to pull his boy off the ledge and say, no, we're not going to do fuck a cap for a defensive tackle this year that we don't believe in going forward. We're going to just, temper the enthusiasm just a little bit, and we're going to take a wider range picture of this. And this is what Ryan Poles has done. People want Alan Williams fired and all this. And this is the one thing you can go all the way back. And this is the least amount of talent probably overall that the Bears have had on defense. It's not as bad as the Trestman year when Mel Tucker was here, but I always go back to that.
Close.
People look at Mel Tucker like Mel Tucker was a shitty coach, and he never was a shitty coach, ever. He had no talent whatsoever. You don't get $95 million contract to coach and you're a shitty coach like that. It's extremely rare. If you have good players, miraculously, more times than not, you're going to end up being a pretty good coach. It helps. Nobody should be firing Matt Eberflus 10 games into his career. And I talked about Getsy. I didn't like his approach on that series that they went 3-0, the Bears' second to last offensive series. I didn't like it. When you have a lack of talent on both sides of the ball, you better fucking go down fighting with your best weapon. And we got to see one play from Justin in that series, and it was on a third down where I think he got 4 yards and just essentially slid.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, and unfortunately we have to, by the time, hopefully there's no catastrophic injuries to anybody.
He did slide in the second half. Speaking of that, I noticed he's taking his opportunities to avoid hits when he can. We talked about it at halftime. There was that play when he went to the sideline and he came down on his non-throwing shoulder. And I was like, he just got up real slow, and it just gave me some pause, because I was like, please be all right. I didn't know if it was concussion or whatnot, because he is so fast out there, but so are so many players on the other side of the ball that it's just, you want him to get through this season, get him proper, not that he's not proper protected now, but it's just, get him some real weapons so he won't have to run as much, and you're going to see a much more successful team, man. Go ahead, Mel Tucker.
Bob, I'll answer your question there. Does Mel Tucker have great players at UGA? No, he doesn't, because he coaches at Michigan State.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I was wondering. I was like, isn't it at MSU? I mean, $95 million, 10 years. And there was like $300 million contracts done in one day. He was the third one.
Yeah, and this is a good one. I thought we would see more of Claypool today. I did a Jackal. I texted you this morning about my FanDuel. It was plus 680 for Claypool to go
plus 80.
Plus 80 in the receiving department, and I'm like, fuck, that seems like it's stealing to me this week. I thought they'd have a couple deep shots. I mean, Fields tried to back shoulder him there, that one at the end of the game, and the ball was real low. And
Kuda got a piece of it, I think.
Yeah,
too,
Kuda
right?
almost. I mean, you see guys like that make plays, and that was real close to being picked. But if you go back and watch the one run play that they had with Chase Claypool, and then follow him when he immediately goes out of the game, and they show him on the sideline, he starts wincing. I think he got dinged.
Okay.
And that's something that I would watch moving forward. It probably loosened up a little bit later in the game. But the same thing with Tevin. I noticed there with Tevin last week, and I brought it up on Keeping It 100 this week. They're saying it's a hip. I saw him grab his shoulder last week.
Yeah.
On a play real quick. And I was wondering, because he's got that.
It's like he got bit.
He grabbed it real quick. And I said, maybe they're saying hip and it's shoulder. We'll see. But
upper body versus lower body.
To me, it looked like Claypool got dinged early. And, my big one is, if you go back and listen to Flus talk about Cole Kmet, they said, is that going to be something that's concerning moving forward? And his first reaction was to look straight down at the floor, like, I don't want to make eye contact with you. And he's like, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
So that's something that I would
keep an eye on. Thigh, right? I mean, Kuda hit him right in the thigh.
Yeah, and he, that's a big person in that, and he went down. And I mean, another bad call was on that deep ball to Kmet. He got hit. He was being held, and he got taken down. And I mean, that was a huge play. It was a beautiful ball by Justin. And if you go back and watch that, Cole Kmet showed a lot more speed on that play, because he was open, and then he was pretending. I think he was in that play, if I have it right, he was kind of showing like he was going to block a little bit, and then he opened it up, and I was like, wow, I hadn't seen that from Cole. But now you're up to 4 touchdowns the last 2 weeks, and Greg Gabriel last week called him the best Y tight end in all of football. Phil didn't agree with it. I think that it's definitely debatable, but I think he's in that conversation for what he's asked to do. And you see the growth of the offense. How many times you saw on his first touchdown from Justin where he was faking the block, Detroit bid on it, and then he releases and he's wide open in the end zone. So that's called developing, right?
And it's chemistry with your quarterback and just building. He had 7 targets on the day. I mean, Fields and Kmet are building, some real chemistry, something that I think is foundational for this offense moving forward, for 2023. Not that I'm writing off the next 8 games. I'm just saying that there was so much hype when he was drafted. Everyone was shitting on Kmet. You could buy his rookie cards for like 50 cents. Now you go look and they're probably like $20 because everybody's realized, the guy's got some skills. And so it's exciting to see that, it's nice to have a tight end that's producing, I always being on the fantasy side of things and always just following the tight ends and their targets and numbers. And, the last 3, the trends for Fields have just gone with Kmet as well. So it's harmonious and it's a beautiful thing in Chicago. It's great to see. And
I'm not a fantasy guy at all, but he's got to be QB1 in fantasy, right?
Yeah, last week he was QB1. This week, if I haven't looked across the league, but he was going to be QB1 again. He's had the most, I want to say, in the last the last 6 weeks, he's had the most top 5 QB finishes in all fantasy. The guy is just a fucking monster. He's putting up 50-point days. This week's another one. If you have any stock in that guy, you're pretty happy. But you'd like to get a win, for fucking Bears fans here, But yeah, he's just doing some amazing stuff on the football field. Give him a fucking veteran wide receiver that can ball out next year with another rookie. I'm super pumped, but I want to see him do a little bit more this year with some better decisions than those type of moments where you throw it in the dirt or throw it in the fucking stands instead of just trying to make the play. Because that comes with experience, though, I think in the NFL.
Absolutely, man. And it's all part of the process. And that is, you fall flat on your face when you're saying that, and I understand you want to win every game, but to say that you can't develop in a loss is just, it's a fallacy. It's simply not true. That's getting caught up in your emotions and saying stuff that isn't true. I saw somebody in the chat ask if Justin Fields is going to speak. I haven't gotten an update on that.
Yeah,
I know normally Flus goes first, and then they bring out Justin. But it's tough, man. Another one in the chat was asking about Jalen Johnson. I think today was probably one of his. He's had a couple stinkers, but today is, I would say, definitely top 3 worst games he's played as a professional. Is he dinged? Is it a rib issue? Like I said, to me, it looked like
flak jacket.
Yeah, it looked like he's got like a flak jacket on because he looked heavy. He didn't look like he was,
He looked slower out there. He looked like
he did. He looked a little behind. Yeah, looked a little clunky. He had a little.
You always seemed to be reading the back of his jersey. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I was like, fuck. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was tough.
Yeah,
you gotta win these games. North, Central. You got to win the divisional ones. You got to beat Detroit, especially with our guys in the stands. TTNL out there meeting with the patrons, having a good time and doing their thing. Always, if last year we hit the Packers, fucking smacked us. This year we lose to the fucking Lions. So
yeah, absolutely, man.
What are you gonna do?
No, I get it. And like I said, if you guys aren't familiar with what we do, I'm assuming if you're here watching, you mostly are, but if you look at the bottom of the screen, it says, to join our Patreon and be part of the push to 1K, head over to www.thetapeneverlies.com to sign up. And as a TTNL patron, you will get expanded The Tape Never Lies from Draft Dr. Phil. The free version that he releases isn't quite as long. He does a more in-depth version for our patrons. You'll get access to the Eric Kramer QB school, where Eric will break down plays specifically from Justin Fields, and also we've expanded it to plays from the game. You'll get X's with the O's, where Phil and Coach O, his father, will literally put up a whiteboard and show you plays and describe formations and everything for you. There's no question that's a dumb question when you're talking about football. A lot of people see that we can get a little bit volatile and a little bit loud, but we want to be here to teach you football. If you don't know what a 3 technique is, put it in the comments. Somebody might make fun of you, but we'll answer the question for you. You'll be a better fan for it. Cars Keys is a new show that on the scene this year. It's got a lot of momentum with it. It's Matt Carstensen. He takes a more analytical look with some numbers, also with tape, because it's critical, that you have both. You can use both to paint a better picture for you. And Jake, X's with the O's is normally on Saturdays. Sometimes we do it Sunday mornings before the game time. It's just, sometimes we have to make a pivot because there's family obligations. And then as we head into the off season, you'll also get access to Draft Mob. The M is Marsaw, the O is Atoshin, and the B this year is Bears Nerd, Matthew Carstensen. So we hit the upgrade button with that, and it's going to be a huge off season for Bears fans, huge off season for TTNL.
Yep.
And it's a pretty good way. You spend $7 and you get a ton of access. We also do pop-up shows, breaking news. We normally go live instantly, break it all down. So check it out. If you don't like it, you're not locked in. You can check it out and quit, and you're out $7.
Go month to month, whatever you need to do. Yeah. Sign up, try it out.
Go ahead, but
plenty of value for the $7, 23 cents a day, as Lieutenant Gordon says.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, if you guys have any questions in the chat, we're still waiting for Justin to come out. If he doesn't, we're probably going to end up wrapping up a little bit early. Any questions in the chat, just hashtag it BHL, and Jacqueline and I can throw it up there and see if we can get it answered for you. But yeah, James knows right there. The draft coverage for TTNL has. It's insane. The way that works, we go live every single day. The week of the draft, we had about 40 hours of viewable live content that week. It was a long week, very productive for this network and for our fans, learning about the players and seeing how it goes live. So we would appreciate it. Like I said, head over to the tapeneverlies.com, sign up, give us a check. Yeah, Tillery can play 3-tech, 100%. Hakeem, you're going to see the news on him break tomorrow. At the end of business is when he can be claimed.
Right?
And I think the Chicago Bears 100% will put a waiver claim in on him. It's just going to be if somebody ahead of them puts in a claim. You have to add bodies there. It makes sense. Put him out there and see what he can do. There was another holding penalty that they called on Mike Pennell today. That was bullshit. But they need to start to get some production out of the defensive line because it's just, it's amongst the worst in professional football. Justin Jones, I think, is a player, but I think when you add legitimate big time talent, he's going to be more of a backup, rotational, and that's going to only make him better. So I think that's important. But yeah, Tillery was Bob is a defensive tackle from the Chargers, out of Notre Dame. He's a guy that shows some explosive traits. He was their first round draft pick in 2019 and just hasn't worked out for the Chargers. He's had some issues. I don't want to say legal issues or anything like that, but he's just a guy that it's got talent, and you need to see if you can get him unlocked, and maybe bringing him back to the Midwest is a move that can benefit everybody.
Claypool, Komet,
MVS.
He's 6'6", 296. He's 26 years old. He started 29 out of 54 games with the Chargers.
Our guy Ben Ricketts. Do you think Kyler? And that's Ben. I talked about that just a little bit earlier. I think that's something that they're obviously definitely going to look at. It's going to be interesting to see what unfolds in Indy. If they decide that they are in sell mode and they want to get in to the quarterback
Ballard
race, it's going to be interesting because they have a nickel that Eberflus is extremely familiar with, that I think that the Bears would be very, very happy if he became available. But I think it's definitely something that they're going to look at, because Kendall Vildor can you upgrade from him? Absolutely. Can you go backwards from him? Absolutely. I like Kendall. He gets beat on plays, but he's a scrapper. But that's like one of the hardest positions in football, is to play inside as a corner, because you're literally covering the entire field, and we've seen that with Kyler Gordon. He's definitely taken his lumps on some plays. So corner, that was essentially one that we asked. Just looking if there's any more.
Fields is going to earn all the money. Seeing somebody say down there a comment about locking down Fields, but the way
he's obviously not eligible. Yeah, it's got to be after year 3.
Yeah, he's got 3 years, right?
Yeah, this is the thing, and this is why you clear the decks with a guy that's still super talented like Khalil Mack, is because all of these guys at the Bears have $125 million in cap. They're not going to spend all of that, guys. So get that out of your system. Don't think that they're going to be turned into the former Washington Redskins and just go out and buy, or the Jacksonville Jaguars more recently. They're going to structure. They're going to go some big game hunting, and they're going to pay some guys, like a Daron Payne, if he is not tagged. It's a day one guy that I think that you'll see Chicago 100% go for, and then you pair him with Jalen Carter in the draft, and then
we got
kicking some ass over there. Yeah, absolutely. But they're going to structure all of these contracts to pay most of the guaranteed money early, so that's going to cut into it, because you want to free. Because by the time you pay in Justin Fields, if he's on this trend, and speaking of the man, here he is right now.
It's a dumb play. Screen, the DN slipped it out pretty good. So that I can assure you that will never happen again for the rest of my career. Just screen, DN slipped it out. Tried to move him a little bit and tried to float it over to Cole and just overthrew it, but just got to dirt it and play the next play. So yeah.
Justin, how can you reconcile right now the production you guys are having in terms of yards and points, and then not being able to get those drives late in the game when the game is there to want?
So how can I reconcile?
Yeah, how do you match those two things up?
Just finish. We're putting up 30 points a game, so just finish when we get those late game drives.
What's missing from the finish?
Execution. Just finish. Pretty simple.
On your run at the end of the first half, the 1 yarder where you put your head down, walk us through what you were seeing, and then when you decided you were going to have to try and go through those guys.
We tried to get the ball to Moon on that. The corners over there, they in and out of it, so kind of played zone to that little two-man concept. So concept was dead, and really at that point you just had to make a play with your legs. So just made a play with my legs, and had to punch it in for the end zone. So yeah.
We saw you kind of with your helmet off, kind of firing up the guys right after that on the sideline. What were you saying?
I don't even know. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have no idea, but I was definitely, hyped up after that touchdown. But yeah.
Justin, on that bootleg, the one to Cole, the 50-yard touchdown, how did he get so open on that?
Yeah, the defense. Since we run a lot of keepers, stuff like that. Sometimes their safety tends to overplay the corner. And that's what he did on that play. And, Cole ran a great route. We were practicing that all week. So just great execution overall by the offense.
On the last fourth down try, can you take us through what happened on that? Do you think about taking off and running with your legs?
Yeah, I did. But I was just trying to make a play. There was guys pretty much everywhere. So just trying to, at first I was trying to throw the ball downfield. And then I kind of just saw all the guys kind of in one area. But, yeah.
Your ear on that one, it looked like you got cut up on the sack. What happened on that?
Yeah, I think there was just a gash in the back of my ear, so it was dripping pretty bad. So I had to get a couple of stitches in the back of my ear, but other than that, I'm fine.
On the second touchdown run, where did you see that lane open up, and how much did Cole's action come in that direction, sort of open that lane there for you?
It's just reading the block really. So after I pulled it, I usually go to the outside, and then that corner just kind of played it to the outside, kind of, guessed that I was going to go outside, so I just cut it upfield, and then at that point just made the safety mention and then just took off. So, yeah.
How soon did you know that was going to break like that? Like, when you got to the second 11, I saw it was just shooting the safety and you don't score. How soon did you know that it was shooting the safety?
After I kind of cut inside and made him miss like that, I knew it was over with. And at that point, you just got to hope your legs don't give out on you. So, yeah.
Last week to have the longest touchdown run the Bears quarterback's ever had, and then to get an even longer one this week. What's that feel like?
It feels good. Feels good, Just wish we would have came out with a dub. So, yeah.
Matt said that you're really good at flushing the bad plays out. What's that process like?
Just can't do anything about the past. Just kind of in my mindset. It's just what can you do now? Yeah, that happened. So what? So, there's a lot of ups and downs throughout the game. A lot of flags that were called that we can't control, but we can't do anything like that. So really, just controlling what you can control and just moving on from that point. So yeah.
And then a few weeks ago, you said that you were tired of being close. Obviously, you guys started putting up points now. Where are you now with the offense? What is the next step?
Just keep growing. I think like I talked about earlier, late game drives, that situational 2 minute, just got to finish, put up points, and just execute. So I think that's the next step for our offense.
So are you seeing any similar trends in why you guys have been able to finish late?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything similar game to game that's happening on those final drives that's preventing you guys?
No, not really. I think, every game's different. Every defense is different. So, no.
How are you feeling physically?
Yeah, I'm hurting pretty bad. Not really from hits, but just my legs are kind of sore. But other than my legs being sore and, of course, my ear, I'm fine.
Justin, what's allowed you to find Cole Kmet a lot these last couple of weeks?
I think just our growth. I think
he's
Cole's
open
getting better each and every week. I think with his route running, and he works hard day in and day out. So definitely happy for him and the way he's growing, the way he's continuing to improve. Each and every week, and just the extra work we put in after practice. It's crazy thing is on that touchdown, we ran that. I think we ran that route after practice like 3 times after like Wednesday or Thursday, and we missed on every one. So it was kind of cool to see, us connect on that one.
How soon can you get to a place where you and Chase are able to get on the same page to be able to maybe check? I'm thinking about a play down a red zone. I think you end up getting a quarterback draw. You got like 5 yards on it, but he's singled up on your left side. How soon can you guys get to a space where you guys can check that and make that a fade?
I can't check that. That's not part of my job. So that was a QB draw call. So I'm not about to just check the whole different play and do that. But
yeah,
maybe in 5-6 years when I got a little bit more experience, but not now.
In terms of getting him involved,
but that's what people don't realize.
Connection,
kid's still growing.
Experience development, Shane, huh?
Yeah, it's just gonna take time. I don't think anybody expected him to just come and just start having a 100-yard game. It just doesn't work like that. So just getting on the same page. Me knowing him knowing me, and just working together.
We've talked a lot about how the offense has improved the last few weeks, different elements that have been added in. Does the element of Cole, having a tight end that can separate vertically, is that something that was missing early on in your estimation?
Yes. I think Cole's always been able to do that physically, but I think just the mental part of the game, I think he's really growing in that. And of course, just him, like I said earlier, just getting better and improving each and every week. I think that's going to help our offense thrive even more. So again, I'm just happy to see his growth, see his potential, and what he can bring for our offense.
Justin, is it tough sometimes to, you're having all these great accomplishments past few games? Is it tough to appreciate that and the questions about it when you guys aren't winning?
No, not really. It's not tough to grasp. It's just, what are your priorities as a player? Is it to break records or is it to win? And personally, mine is to win. I don't care about breaking records. I just want to win games. So just going to keep working and, keep battling.
Appreciate it. And I'm out.
Yeah. It's, and I know there's been a lot of people talking about it in the chat, and they said that Justin sat silent at his locker alone for about 45 minutes. So that's why we were a little bit late hearing from him. But that's just that's the competitor in Justin Fields coming out, and that's what you want from your guy. You know what I mean? That's what you want from the quarterback position. You don't want a guy out there saying, I read books because that's what leaders do. That's where we used to be. That's not where we are now. And that's, you can say that shit doesn't matter, but it fucking matters. It matters. And the Bears are growing as a team. Yes, we're gonna be there and show you the negative, just like we're gonna show you the positive. But this kid, he gets it. You can feel the emotion. You can feel that it matters to him.
I will never do it again in my career.
Yeah, and I mean that's hey, odds are he's going to make plenty of dumb passes the rest of his career. We totally get it. Oh, wow. Watson with the big touchdown finally. Didn't drop it for Green Bay.
Who threw it? Love?
No. It's that other
Rodgers was hurt.
Oh, I didn't even see. I saw the
jacked his hand up doing something. Probably. Okay. Actually,
So maybe it was. I didn't. I just got the replay.
I don't know if he came out officially, but he was on the sideline getting his hand tended to at one point.
Yeah.
I saw it pop up on Twitter, but
he didn't drop it. But anyways,
yeah,
it's just Justin, to me, he's the ultimate leader. He has been. He's really been groomed for this his entire life. From like 9 years old.
Yeah.
On he's faced the best, went up against the best, and he's beat the best. And now he's in Chicago. And guys, you just have to I know it sucks losing right now. I get it. I don't like it either. My week goes much better when the Bears win. But this kid is going to be the reason that the Bears win and win big. They have to improve a lot of stuff around him, along with Justin, just like he just told you.
Yep.
Maybe down the line, I'll be able to, check out of a, quarterback draw play and change everything. This is going to be the approach that we see for the rest of the season. You're going to see a much different Chicago Bears team next year than you see this year. You're going to see a lot more weapons surrounding him, guys that this regime believes in, full slate of draft picks, a bunch of money. And I know before Justin got out here, I was talking about because I think it's extremely important. The way that the Bears are going to spend this offseason, a lot of the guaranteed money, or not a lot, all is going to be paid early. So you're going to see huge numbers for players because they're going to want to clear the deck because they know they believe in Justin. And guys, listen to these figures. When Justin Fields, it's time for him to be paid, you're going to be talking in the range of $50 to $60 million per season to pay
$500 million contract minimum probably for him, like the way it works.
And if the Bears
new
have
stadium,
to pay it,
everything's lining up. I mean,
no, and these are different times for Chicago Bears fans, and that's what it is. They're going to clear the deck. They're going to sign some guys to long-term contracts. You're going to see a lot of year 1, year 2 guaranteed money. That's going to be massive. And that's just the way that they're going to do it. And it's good business. You're going to hear a lot of people that are anti-Bears, that are a lot of Detroit Lions fans, Green Bay fans. How did you give this guy his cap number this year is $26 million? Well, it's because next year it's going to be a lot less. And then the year after that, if we need to move off of him, we'll move off of him with no financial negativity moving forward to, and it's all with one guy in mind, quarterback one, Justin Fields.
It's how it should be right now. We're seeing it. With the guys that Flus and Poles have decided to keep on this roster and where they see it going, and then who will be here after, starting next year. Flus, I think. It's interesting, he's a head coach. He's the CEO style coach, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. So, I would have loved for him to come out and just kind of, rattle the cage with Getsy a little bit. But at the same time, he's working with what he has as well. The same offense put up 30 points again this week. But I just,
Right.
There's so much to look forward to in the future, man. And
Absolutely.
It's still a kick in the shins when you lose to the Detroit Lions.
I get it. And I know King James has been very active with crazy comments in the chat, but I'll address this one. This isn't year 20 of a rebuild, King. This is year 1 of
10.
Ryan Poles and week 10 in year 1 of their rebuild. So that matters. I get it. You don't understand football, and most King James fans are wrong about everything anyway. So, but Caesar, the new stadium doesn't look like a wedding cake because nothing has been released. That was just a default box that they put in there. Nothing has been released in terms of what it's going to look like.
There's no thumbnail sketches floating around yet, guys.
I know the firm that has been working on the potential design is the same firm
for Vegas
that designed Vegas. What is it? Reliant Stadium? Is that what
Reliance,
it's called out there?
I think. Yeah,
I believe so. So it's going to very likely have that, real futuristic look. But don't get upset about the original, design that you saw, because that was just a default thing. Yeah, and that, like I said, man, it's people are fan is short for fanatic, and I get it. People, I used to live that life, and you overreacted to absolutely everything. And if a player gets picked in the draft that you don't like, then he automatically sucks. And that's why we're here. We're here to talk you off the ledge and show you why you have to take a different look at everything. Not saying that you need to agree with us every time, but we're going to show you both sides of the fence, positive, negative, whatever matters. This might be a good one. Here's Mr. Santos.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, everybody makes mistakes, and that's just the nature of the sport.
You made one today.
And,
two.
I don't even know how many times I kicked off out of bounds in my career, but not that many. Probably, I think 2 that I can remember.
Almost doubles it.
It's not something that happens, so I know it's not me, but it happens, and you just got to correct it.
Anything unusual in terms of snap, place? Was it tipped?
I mean, obviously, with how the ball flew, it was just, something tells me that something in the operation, and it comes down to me just trusting everything and going through it. But didn't come off right. That's not how we operate. So I just have to look what happened and myself, make the correction.
Can you tell if it was tipped at all? Or
no, it wasn't tipped.
It was not.
Not that I saw. But
Allegiant Stadium. Look at bullets.
Thank you,
bullets. A long time, so kind of what comes with territory. Is it always hard when after a game like this you're sitting here talking about had you made that you have a chance to win?
I mean, it's easy to just count one point and it's it's a tie. But there's so many things that happen, and that's how we all feel. We all have our opportunities to make plays and help the team win. At that point in the game, we didn't make the extra.
How does the kicker suck? Come on,
didn't
stop. Had a bad day.
At that point, but just so many things that you can't point.
Won us a game this year.
What exactly? Why we?
He's kicked 19 or 20 straight field goals.
When you.
Yeah, I mean,
he's hurting. Shit. He's a human being, man. It sucks. I think he wanted to miss that shit, but yeah, he fucking shanked the fuck out of it, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jackal, it's good to have you back, man. I think we're just about at the 90-minute mark. I know we're going just a little bit shorter. It's been kind of a different show for everybody. Some people,
yell and scream like DDP. So
I'm sure some people are going to be missing the DDP ramp, but you'll see enough of them this week coming up. The schedule's probably going to be just a little bit different. I know Phil is traveling tomorrow, so I wouldn't expect the Super 16 poll show. I wouldn't expect that tomorrow. It'd probably be a twofer on Tuesday night, where we'll roll the poll show at 8 p.m. East and keeping it fantasy at 10 p.m. East, and then follow that up with keeping it 100 8:30 p.m. East on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, Cars Keys. Get right into it before we get into the weekend. And absolutely. So appreciate all you guys coming out, watching the show. Like I said, head over to the tapeneverlies.com. sign up, check it out, become a better Bears fan. I'm sure there's lots of patrons in the chat that can vouch for us that it's pretty good money. It's or well spent money, I should say, for the $7 for the amount of content that you get. So other than that, Jackal, anything else you want to say?
Just great to see you, buddy. It sucks we weren't in Chicago this weekend. Tough. I was not able to pull it off. I know you weren't either. I'm hoping the boys have safe travels. I wish our boys, the Bears, pulled out that dub today. I wish Santo made that fucking kick. And, we roll on to week 11 and we play, we got the frickin' Falcons, right?
Yeah. Another winnable game, just like these last two we're right there for the Bears, but we put up with some bullshit like this. Hands to the face, my ass. We'll see how it is, but hey, appreciate you guys. Bears drop a heartbreaker, 31-30 to the lowly Lions. One thing real quick I do want to address. Detroit Lions players, listen. You better get a little more consistent if you want to talk some smack on the sidelines to the fans. Full stop on that. You haven't earned that, just like the Bears haven't. So be better. But we'll see you guys this week. TTNL. www.thetapeneverlies.com. Check it out. Appreciate all you guys. See you later.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you for watching Bears Hour Live, the best post-Bears game show on the planet, on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Golly, what the hell is going on?